What is up, divine beings? Peace and blessings. I'm still in the Caribbean countryside and I will be here for a couple of weeks, so you're gonna hear hens. But I've recently uploaded a video on connecting with the ancestors when you don't know them, when you're a black sheep in a family, that I think y'all should really watch. But today I want to talk about nature as altars, because you don't always need a physical altar to create a space. And you need to understand that there are two altars that are always there. One is you, your body, because yes, you are a connection to nature, and two, the natural elements. I said this in my last video as well. When it comes to understanding nature, nature is a spirit. Nature, earth is a spirit, and the trees, the river, the sun, all of that, they're all different entities, energies, and spirits with their own healing properties. Yes, earth has trees that give us fruit, earth has trees that give us air, earth has sun that gives us sunlight and allows the plants to grow and allows our food to grow. But also the sun revitalizes us. Trees give us healing, they give us upliftment, they give us groundedness. The ocean gives us sustenance, but at the same time it clears our energy. And this is the understanding that nature is both physical and metaphysical. And if you are somebody where, let's say you live in a household where you cannot have any altars for whatever reason, maybe you don't have the privacy for it, understand that you can go to these spaces and work with all your spirit guides, your ancestors in these spaces in particular. All right. The first time I ever petitioned one of my guides, I remember that I did so in nature. I got the libations, poured the rum, lit the candle, had a candlestick holder, lit the candle, and called on my guide. And I was smoking a cigar in dedication to him, because there's some spirits, y'all, who are cigar spirits, who love cigar and who love cigars, and in a way, smoking that and blowing the smoke at the candle or blowing it to the altar. But we're not talking about altars here. We're talking about being in a space of dedication will allow you to channel their energy, will allow you to embody their energy. All right. So understand that you don't always need to have a physical altar. Give offerings to a tree, give libations to a tree, ensure that they're biodegradable. If you are not able to do a spiritual bath, then go to the river, that is Oshun. Go to the ocean, that is Yamaya, and Yoruba culture, Orisha culture. But you also have her as Mami Wata, the primordial goddess. In Sumerian culture, you have her as Tiamat, the ocean, the primordial ocean. In Greek, you have Poseidon. In Yoruba culture, you also have Olokun, who is the deep oceans, the depth of the oceans. Understand that the ocean has so many different names, so many different spirits, so many different manifestations. And if you are somebody where you're not comfortable with guides yet, consider the ocean a guide, consider the sun a guide, consider the moon a guide. And the understanding here is that all these pantheons, such as the Egyptian pantheon, has a name for the sun, has a name for the moon, has a personification for them, has a personification for rain. The Taino gods, the Aztec gods, the Orisha, y'all, they all embody nature. This is because nature is a healing force, a healing element. These are spirits of nature. Nature is the key here, and working with nature is important to ascend into higher states of consciousness, to get stronger spiritual downloads, to ascend in your vibration. And they got us messed up with living in city life, and that's something that I'm learning here. I'm based in New York, I'm currently in the Caribbean, and the message that I keep getting is life can be so much more easier, life could be so much more tranquil. And we are given so many ways to disassociate from earth that we gotta let go of. So understand, go to the ocean, telepathically speak to the ocean, go to the moon, ask the moon to recharge you during nighttime, ask it to cloak you. You can petition to the moon to cloak your energy. The moon in Greek culture is Hecate. And I'm giving you all these different deities not to overwhelm you, not to think that that has to be the one and only way of connecting to the sun or the moon, but more so to understand that a lot of these different pantheons, they have these different guides, and they are individuals, but at the same time they are linked to portals, and these portals are the sun, the moon, the trees, the river, the mountains, the seas. All right. And this is what we have to connect to. This is where we ascend to higher states of consciousness. And me right now, I'm in the Caribbean. I went into the Caribbean water, the Caribbean oceans, the last 2 days speaking to Yamaya, who is the Orisha of the ocean. But That's where I also saw my Taino ancestors. And some of you have ancestors who worked with the ocean. Some of you have ancestors who worked with rivers. Some of you had ancestors that were able to summon rain. This is a way in which we were able to grow crops and be able to eat. Nowadays, we just petition for abundance, right? But this is the same understanding. And work with nature, yo. When it's sunlight, ask for confidence, ask for upliftment. When it's rain, ask for a cleanse, ask for abundance. When it's high winds, ask for release. Look at nature, look at what the day entails, and base your rituals on that, all right? And these things can be spoken out loud into earth, into nature. Give them the proper offerings, which could be as simple as libations, a liquor beverage, because liquor are spirits, coffee, water, Florida water, biodegradable stuff like fruit, like you can also get flowers. And I was going to say coconuts, because if you're working with the Orisha, they love coconuts. And if you got ancestors that liked all that food, go give it out in nature, yo. Go give it out in nature. But the other thing I want to talk about is you, your body, you're an altar, and all your ancestors exist within your body. You don't always need to have an ancestral altar to connect with your ancestors, but you have to do things to recharge your spirit, to recharge your energy. That's why I wear stones like moldavite, to be able to be in a high vibration. Wear your crystals. Crystals are properties of earth. Crystals are also nature. Do things to uplift your energy. If it's grounding, if it's exercise. When I'm stressed out, I exercise to be able to let some shit go where I'm just overthinking in my head. That is another form of like spiritual cleansing, believe it or not. Exercising, because exercising equals exorcism. We exercise our mental stresses, any funky energy, any stagnant energy, even stretching, yo. Sometimes when I'm doing so many readings, my guides will call me to stretch. Remember that your body, if your physical body is also an altar. If you need to walk outside, be outside. If you're somebody like me where you're empathic and being outside in crowded neighborhoods is a lot, do it in the morning, do it in the nighttime. This is where you connect with earth. And you know, I honestly get way more spiritual downloads when I am outside. Not only that, I cleanse myself through nature, because I do work with the Orisha, and they guide me toward being by the river, being by the ocean. If I'm doing too many readings, if I'm too stressed out, if I need a cleanse. And you'll find yourself, y'all, if you're going through full moon cycles. Full moons are when the energy is so high, when the energy is so strong, when the energy is so abrupt. As I was saying, full moons are when the energy is so high, when the energy is so strong, when your emotions are at a standstill, where it just feels like an overflow. Your cup is overflowing, your emotions are overflowing. This is where, you know, we get stressed out. This is when we have conflicts. The days after a full moon, we have relationship issues. And when you are stressed the hell out during a full moon cycle, go out in nature, cleanse yourself, uplift yourself, heal yourself, all right? The other thing that I want to talk about is this book called Cyclomancy, The Secret of Psychic Power and Control. And basically what this book talks about is ways to use your psychic gifts that are within your body. But something that it mentions later on in the chapters is the importance of alkaline foods. Alkaline foods and foods with the electrolytes. Foods with the electrolytes include coconuts, fruit, all types of fruit, avocado, anything that is from the ground, anything that has water in it too, y'all. We're told to drink H2O, and that does give us sustenance. But at the same time, we have to consume H3O. H3O is the water that comes from fruit. That's mangoes, cherries, berries. And that also has a way of recharging us. If you're somebody where you feel a lot of energy, drink coconut water to recharge yourself. Especially if you're like me, you know, I'm still young, so yes, sometimes I still go out in the nightlife, and I don't really feel like it's kind of like anything new ever really happens in that sense. But I have FOMO, I'm young, I'm in my 20s, so you know, fuck it. But anywho, what I find is that the days after, I'm drained. The day after, even if I don't drink a lot. And it's not even about drinking, it's about all that energy that's there. So I have to refuel myself with electrolytes. Electrolytes are a way to recharge your energy and recharge your spiritual battery. Eat alkaline foods. Look up alkaline rich foods. It also helps your skin out, all right? And protein is really important for grounding. So when you find yourself if you find yourself feeling like sometimes like you're too high up, in your crown or in in your third eye realm, and people like me, I'm fucking all the way up. I have to find ways to ground myself every freaking day. And what I find is that protein is really important. It doesn't matter if you're getting your protein from a vegan diet or getting your protein from meat. Just make sure you get enough protein to ground yourself, and that will also help you with your spiritual battery, with spiritual recharge. Like, believe it or not, but the physical is so important to the spiritual, all right? And if you feel like your spiritual channel is clogged up, I would honestly say look at the foods you eat. Try to avoid things that are too processed, things that are too fried, things that have too much like unnatural sugars in it, like donuts. Like, try to limit what you consume, because those things do block your spiritual portal. They block your spiritual access and your spiritual battery. So that's a little bit about the body as an altar, nature as an altar. I hope that I was able to make sense in what I was talking about today. And if y'all have any questions, I always love to answer them. Write them down in the about below. If there's any other topics you wanted me to discuss, write them down in the about below. I'm going to pull some cards from tarot real quick, see if there's any messages Spirit has to give as well in conversations to nature as an altar and in conversations to the body as an altar. All right, let me pull some cards. The first card that we have is the Queen of Pentacles. This is Gaia. This is Earth, y'all. The Queen of Pentacles is nature expanding. This is the love that Earth has for us. We have to bear witness to the abundance of Earth. We have to build a relationship with Earth. Earth is a spirit guide as well. This is where when you feel stressed out, you put your bare hands on grass. You lay down on grass. You walk your bare feet on grass. You start communicating to nature, meditate in nature. You'll find that if you struggle with meditation, meditating in nature is going to get you in that zone. Journal in nature, pull your tarot in nature. I've always said that. If you're learning how to read the Akashic Records, and if you want to learn that, go look up How to Read the Akashic Records by Linda Howe. It's a book. I have it on my Amazon reading list below. There's two things I would ignore there, which is one, that's not the only prayer. You can make your own prayer as well. And secondly, you can still smoke and drink and read the Akashic Records. I don't co-sign everything when I read spiritual books, and honestly, don't co-sign everything that I say. Some things are going to make sense to you that I'm speaking. Some things ain't going to click with you. It's all right, because the spiritual path is not just a science, but it's also an art. And in art, we find our own individual ways of connecting back to the higher powers, back to our own higher self as well. So we have the Three of Cups. The Three of Cups is honestly like ancestral healing and ancestral wisdom. Three of Cups usually represents friendship, but the download that I'm getting right now is that this is also about when you are healing yourself, when you are feeling good, understand that that's also ancestral healing. Yes, we can always do rituals. We can always light candles for our ancestors, but we also have to live our ancestors' wildest dreams. A lot of our ancestors were in spiritual purgatory. They were persecuted for their spirituality. So you being in that high state, that is you healing your bloodline, because your body is attached to all the bodies of your ancestors that look up after you. And don't get me wrong, not all ancestors are cool, not all ancestors are great, but the ones that have your back, they're gonna feel uplifted through you. If you want them to show themselves to you, you do those prayers. You ask that intention that your highest ancestors of the highest love show themselves, and they will show themselves. Then we have the Ten of Wands. This is talking about we don't always have to do life on our own. For spiritualists, for empaths, let's be honest, some of us are loners. Some of us live in solitude. Some of us don't even like these spiritual communities because some of them are fake. And the message that I'm getting here with the Ten of Wands is that we don't have to do it all alone. We have to do this with nature. We have to do this with the higher powers, with whatever guides you connect with, y'all. And it doesn't matter. There's no guide. There's no deity that's better than another. You can connect with the planets. And remember that planets are their own spirit guides. They're their own consciousness. You can connect with the angels, the jinn, the demons, the Orisha, the Loa, whatever is part of your bloodline, whatever you're internally connected with, the Egyptians, the Hindus, the Norse, the Mayas, the Aztecs, the Toltecs, the Taino spirits, y'all, the Loa, the saints. There's so much you can connect with, and it's just about what shows up for you. Don't overthink it. Let these beings show up for you. Spirit animals, all right? We have so much support in the spirit realm and in this earthly realm and nature than we even freaking know. We gotta just take advantage of the abundance that's there. We have the King of Pentacles, which closes it off with the Queen of Pentacles, and this again talks about earthly support. It's also the understanding that although Earth is a feminine being, there is still masculine principles in this planet. And this is the masculine embodiments of earth. They say that air is a masculine element. I mean, I don't really co-sign that, I'm gonna be honest. I feel like all has its masculinity and its femininity, but we as spirits, we choose which one we want to embody more based on our body, and what we connect with gender wise. All right, but the message that I'm really getting here with the King of Pentacles is there's abundance. I'm looking at the grapes here too. I'm looking at the joy here. I'm looking at the celebration here. There's abundance in connecting with earth. And I'm also hearing there's abundance in, you could manifest material abundance, spiritual abundance with connecting with earth. For some of you who are looking for a home and in a certain neighborhood, go do earth rituals there. For others of you that are petitioning for love, leave flowers to your favorite tree. For some of you who are petitioning for abundance, leave fruit to your favorite tree. Pour some libations and just do prayers, asking for that to come forward, asking for abundance to come forward. Start speaking to nature. Give your offerings to nature and give your gratitudes too. Don't just go and ask. Give your gratitudes, connect, and you will see that these places where you leave your libations, you leave your offerings, every time you walk back there, it's going to open up for you. It's going to recharge you, and it's going to uplift you, all right? So that's the message that I have today for y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you want to get a reading from me, you can book it on my website below. If you want to follow me on social media, Instagram, where I do Instagram tarot reading lives. I'll start doing them here when I hit 1,000. How to do so is on the about below. All right, y'all. Stay beautiful, stay abundant, stay great. And I'll see y'all next time.